one by one was awesome.
Yeah.
I thought that was really well done. That was really well. I will give credit where credit is due. I have my beef with the director in a lot of the action scenes, but I did like that very, very much. It made me laugh every time a Nazi got it.
Well, they took over like what almost all of Europe, right?
Yeah.
So, well, why are they so incompetent on shooting and everything else, right? It's like
they don't have the plot armor.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the whole premise of the movie, right? Because for those who don't know, but if you don't, go watch the movie already. Don't let us spoil it for you. But the whole idea is Hitler was incompetent, and so we're going to travel back to 1939, and I'm a Nazi. I'm going to travel back to 1939 and kill him in order to actually win the war.
Couldn't you have gone like he could have gone even further, like back maybe, and tried to neutralize so they couldn't build, to oppose Hitler, right? Like maybe start 10 or 15 years earlier, or maybe even start with World War One. Well, tip the balance of that.
Yeah, that's true. No, but his whole thing was it's not about not having the Third Reich. It's about not having Hitler. That was the whole idea. It's let Hitler come to power, let Hitler rally the masses, and then take him out, which gives everybody something to, rally around, and also allows us to avoid all of the problems that he caused because he was unstable.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
do you think as a villain that Mads Mikkelsen, is that that guy's name?
Yeah, Mads Mikkelsen.
Do you think he was good as a villain?
I thought he was okay. I thought he was fine. You know who I didn't like was Boyd Holbrook. Oh
yeah, you'd mentioned that already a couple times.
Yeah. That did not give me a ton of optimism for City Primeval. I will tell you that. I'm a little worried.
What was it? I mean, he has enough presence, but he doesn't seem like he was used very well.
Maybe he wasn't used very well, or maybe they didn't have a lot of good, footage to use him. But yeah, it felt like he was either under or overacting pretty much every time he was on the screen.
Yeah. Huh. I had a note here. I was looking, and there was a point in there which made me laugh about Mads Mikkelsen, where he looked like was it the late Cruella de Vil when Glenn Close playing her in 101 Dalmatians, I think it was.
Yes.
Did you see his hair? Like his hair was like towards the end of the movie.
I didn't notice that, but that's funny. Was it two different colors? And
and it was going in front of him, like it's like
this is after he changed into his Nazi uniform so he could hide how old he was.
Way towards the end.
Okay.
Yeah. But that was what I had like a note there. I thought that was kind of funny.
I did appreciate the historical accuracy of having Nazi scientists help us get to the moon.
Well, this is a documentary. Right?
Yes.
It's a documentary. Indiana Jones. But I do, it is interesting though that there is technology that we still don't have an explanation for. I don't know. Maybe
and it's interesting when you look at kind of the technological development curve, and now I'm going to delve, normally into the area where I don't delve into, but but into the conspiracy area. If you look at the technological development curve and the way that it spikes after Roswell, and the way that it's kind of tailed off in recent years, you look at that and go, boy, I wonder if maybe there was an encounter and we managed to get a bunch of technology, and now we're sort of running out of the ability to utilize that technology or the ability to get further understanding of it.
I don't know. Well, I've looked into like the conspiracy, like, there's been other advanced civilizations way before us.
Oh yeah.
And it like a cataclysmic event, like a meteor hitting, or
right,
something
like 30,000 years ago or whatever is the normal sort of thing. Yeah, you know what the problem with all of that is that the stuff that they're saying is evidence of these civilizations from 30,000 years ago was created like 4,000 years ago. So,
well, that's not necessarily true.
Well, like the pyramids in Egypt, we know that those weren't created 30,000 years ago, and the ones in Mexico and the ones in South America that are similar in structure to like the ones in East Asia.
Yeah.
The ones in Mexico and in South America were created, less than 1,000 years ago. I mean, there were still civilizations inhabiting those and using those when we discovered the New World.
But from what I've seen, it's they are older than
I see. So what you're saying is that the civilizations that were there just inhabited them. They just took up residence in there. They didn't actually build them.
Yeah, kind of like like the Colosseum. Like it's existed for however many thousands of years, and like people have like repurposed them or used them. Not for its intended purpose until we've tried to go back and recreate that. But
that's what I think is most interesting about like the Colosseum and the Roman concrete structures is that there is a concrete process that has been lost to time.
Yes.
That we don't know how to replicate that allows these structures to stand for thousands of years. It's really interesting to think about that. And there are scientists out there every day trying to sort of recreate this, and they're not sure why, if it's something that was in the water at the time or what, but they don't know.
It's like the pizza dough from New York. It's not the same. It's the water.
You know what I found out about that? Speaking of conspiracies, you want to know why? You want to know why the water is better in New York? It's because there's shrimp in it. Look it up, folks.
Oh,
look it up. Yeah, there's microscopic shrimp that they encourage in the water in New York because they eat mosquito eggs. They're not harmful to humans, and that's why your New York water tastes good. Check that out when you get a chance. Look that one up. Shrimp in the water in New York. That is real.
And that's what makes the pizza dough taste so much different and better.
Yep, because it's not kosher. That's why. Well, before we wrap up talking about Indiana Jones and get into the main podcast, what's your thought on Phoebe Waller-Bridge? How'd she do?
She was fine. I think the movie overall was fine. I think because she seems like she's athletic enough and like built properly to do the stuff that she did. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you'll see like some of these people, like these actresses who they can like break a guy's neck or
like right like Florence Pugh can like take down a 300-pound dude, right? Through Krav Maga or whatever. She's like 5'1".
Exactly. And I think with her she's good. She's fine. I don't know. I mean, I've never seen her in anything else. Do you know? Like
she was in a show called Fleabag, which I haven't watched, but has gotten really good sort of buzz around it. And it's on my list, but it's pretty far down the list. I don't even know what the show is about, honestly. But she's on that show, and that's kind of where she became famous. I thought she was fine also. I think she's a little bit annoying, I thought. But maybe that was just the character. But yeah.
I think that like even the kid, he wasn't that terrible.
No, it was like the opposite of a wiener kid, right? They never had to like rescue him. He actually rescued them at one point. I thought that he used the kid pretty well. I was worried when he showed up. I was like, oh man. But yeah.
I thought, and the way they established him, like, with the flying stuff, like so.
Oh, sure. Talking to the pilots. Cool. Yeah, I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool. Yeah, I think where the movie started to drag a little bit for me was in that scene in where were they? They were in Morocco, right?
Tangiers,
that's right. They were in Tangiers, and And the car chase scene in that movie, they essentially tried to sort of recreate Raiders, and it just didn't work. It did not. I don't that was they were in the tuk-tuk, and I don't think that scene worked. It dragged, or if it did work, it worked if it was like 40% shorter. It felt like it went on forever.
Yeah. And that's a directing thing, I guess, right? I mean,
director and editor. Yeah, that's you guys got to be on the same page on that stuff,
Yeah. I don't know. So like overall you would give it, I would say it was fine. I think it's not the worst one.
Yeah, I put it, I think I was responding to our friends at the Post Credit Podcast who said, who took what I would argue is a very controversial position to suggest that Temple of Doom is the best Indiana Jones movie. Temple, Crusade, Raiders, Kingdom was their ranking.
Wow.
And I was like, wait just a damn minute here.
Those guys are smoking some wacky tobacco.
So I had to respond to it and said, no, it's Raiders, Crusade, Temple, and then Temple and I think Dial are about equal in my perspective. I think it was about equal to Temple. And then I said getting hit by a bus and then Kingdom after that. Guys, Kingdom is atrocious.
Getting hit by a bus and then the bus driver backing up.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Getting run over. Yeah, the second time by the bus. Yeah. But not killed, just maimed.
Just maimed. But it's funny because that is like such a drop, right? Yeah. I mean, but it's not out of the realm of like what happens to Indy, right? I mean, it's aliens, and I don't know. I think people were scoffing at that, if I recall correctly. But I mean, he was fighting Nazis who were looking for the, like the Ark of the Covenant, and like all this other stuff.
Yeah. So. No, I mean, my beef with Kingdom was not with the concept of aliens, right? It wasn't with aliens are going to be involved. I thought it was appropriate for the time period in which it was taking place. I liked that it was the Russians and not the Nazis this time. I thought those things were cool, but Shia of the beef and the directing and the set pieces were just, I mean, swinging through the jungle on the vines with all the monkeys. That was awful. Nuking the fridge. That was just unbearably bad. And then to take a dump on like everybody's memories. They have this big action scene in a warehouse, and the warehouse has the Ark of the Covenant in it, and the friggin' Ark of the Covenant's broken out of the crate that it was in. It's like, ugh. And just crap on our memories. Well, there's a South Park where it has Steven Spielberg and George Lucas raping Indiana Jones.
Oh, I remember that. And it was like a literal,
like literally, That's kind of what that felt like. But this one was much better. I do think the action scene suffered from a lack of Spielberg, especially since I watched Raiders the night before. And, you see some of what I consider to be maybe one or two of the best action scenes ever on film. The car chase as they're getting out of Alexandretta is just awesome. Just awesome.
That was peak Spielberg, too.
Yeah.
I mean, Saving Private Ryan is
Saving Private Ryan's amazing, too.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. I think with the one redeeming thing of the Skull movie is it was his first and only time that we see LaBeef.
Yeah, true. I mean, his career kind of went away after that movie.
Yeah, I mean, he was in Transformers. Like, he could have been that.
Yeah. Michael Bay.
Yeah, well, that's what he gets for challenging the internet or whatever, 4chan.
Well, that's I mean, so regardless of whatever his politics or whatever the hell got him in trouble, ultimately, I think that that Crystal Skull movie got him on the blacklist for Hollywood for quite a while there.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, that'll be that for our look at Indiana Jones